Good evening, class. My name is Jessica Tillman, and my theorist is B.F.Skinner, also known as B.F. Skinner. Skinner was born March 20th, 1904, in a small town in Pennsylvania. His father was a lawyer, and his mother was a housewife. Skinner had a younger brother who died at the age of 16 from a cerebral aneurysm. Skinner had a stable childhood where he was very interested in building and inventing things. When Skinner was in high school, he fell in love with English, so he went to Hamilton College in upstate New York, where he received a bachelor's degree in English. After college, Skinner wanted to become a writer, so he wrote various fictional stories and poems, but he did not gain much success. So Skinner began writing newspaper articles on labor problems. In 1930, Skinner went back to school at Harvard and obtained his master's in psychology and received his doctorate in 1931 in psychology. Skinner remained at Harvard conducting research until 1936. In 1936, Skinner began teaching at the University of Minnesota. In 1945, Skinner became the chairman of the psychology department at Indiana University. In 1948, Harvard invited Skinner back, and this is where he remained for the rest of his life. The contributions that Skinner gave to the psychology world was the development of the operant conditioning theory. This theory is based on the basis that the behavior of the organism is followed by a consequence, and the nature of the consequence modifies the organism's tendency to repeat the behavior in the future. A couple of key points to this theory is a behavior followed by a reinforcing stimulus results in an increased probability of that behavior occurring in the future. A behavior no longer followed by the reinforcing stimulus results in a decreased probability of that behavior occurring in the future. The opposite of reinforcing stimulus is aversive stimuli. This is something we may find unpleasant or painful. Two key points of the aversive stimuli. A behavior followed by aversive stimulus results in a decreased probability of the behavior occurring in the future. Behavior followed by the removal of the aversive stimulus results in an increased probability of that behavior occurring in the future. Skinner did not approve of aversive stimuli because it really did not work. Whatever was reinforcing the bad behavior hadn't been removed, it's just been covered up and with a conflicting aversive stimulus, meaning the behavior will remain or not remain, but then again it will come back, or it will come back again. Skinner's work is used today in therapy, and the most used therapy is behavior modification, where undesirable behavior is extinguished by removing the reinforcer and replaced with a desirable behavior by reinforcement. Behavior modification has been used in a variety of psychological problems such as addictions, neurosis, shyness, autism, and schizophrenia, to name a few. This kind of therapy really works very well with children. A concern with the implication of behavioral science for society at large turned Skinner to philosophical and moral issues. In 1969, he published Contingencies of Reinforcement, and 2 years later, Beyond Freedom and Dignity, which prompted a series of television appearances. Still, the lack of understanding and misrepresentation of his work prompted his writing about behaviorism in 1974. Towards the end of his life, he was still active professionally. In addition to professional articles, he wrote 3 autobiographical volumes, Particulars of My Life, The Shaping of a Behaviorist, and A Matter of Consequences. In 1989, he was diagnosed with leukemia, but he kept as active as his increasing weakness allowed. At the American Psychological Association, 10 days before he died, he gave a talk before a crowded auditorium. He finished the article from which the talk was taken on August 18, 1990, the day he died.